Then, finally, with the cost functions, like returns to scale, we have something called economies of scope. The previous one, that is economic of scale. When you increase your scale, what is happening to your output? Right? But we understood that when you scale up further and further, there will be a point where you will be having increasing cost, which is not preferred by the entrepreneurs. Right? So therefore, they have found new way of doing their business, which is called economies of scope. There, what they do, it is not only one production. They will be having a range of production. There will be one brand, but a range of production. Like if you take Walt Disney is popular for what? It was popular for cartoons. Right? So it started its life as the cartoon producer, and it was scaling up. All over the world now we have Disney cartoons. And then there was a limitation. So after that, the cost was increasing. Then what did they do? I mean, the Walt Disney did. So Walt Disney, it started movies. So Disney movies started. And then Disneylands, these amusement parks. So the Disney started Disneylands. Right? Then t-shirts. Then some toys. Likewise, there will be lot of products, a range of products from Disney. It is same from Sony. Sony started with rice cooker. So they started producing rice cooker and then got into all the electrical items, then music, lot of items they were producing. So this is called economies of scope. So the scope of the production is changed. Not only one, they will be producing several. Why they are getting into this economies of scope? It is because we will be getting some cost savings. We can reduce the cost. Therefore, when we increase our scope, cost will be decreasing. Right? This is because we will be having some advantage. Right? It may be because of byproducts. Like if you take Sri Lanka distilleries. Right? The original objective of the distilleries is not to produce alcohol. It is to produce sugar. Right? So they started the factory with sugar and they were producing sugar and scaled up, and then they experienced the increasing cost. Then what they did? They look at some of their byproducts. Right? When we produce sugar using sugar cane, then we are getting some byproducts. Using that byproduct, we can produce alcohol. So they got into the production of alcohol. Of course, now they have become like producing only alcohol. But anyway, the starting point is sugar. Then there will be some property rights or patent rights, like exactly the case with Walt Disney. So Disney is having the property rights or the patent right for its characters. So it is using all its characters. In Disneyland or whenever they make clothes, they can freely use their characters because those are patent to them. So if I am going to produce some clothes using Disney characters, I have to pay. I have to pay to Disney and get the user rights. But if they are going to do that, they can freely do that. So they have the cost advantage. And there are some unused resources. In some cases, there may be some unused resources. Then we can use those unused resources for production purposes. If you take Wellesley University, we are having some land area which is prone to landslides. So we are not using those land area for building constructions. If we want to change, our scope is the education, teaching students. But if we want to change our scope, what we can do, we can get into animal husbandry. We can have a nice animal farm there and produce milk and yogurt and all these animal production in that area. By changing the scope using the unused resources. So those resources which are already not used, we can use in the production. And also some technical knowledge or transferable knowledge. So if you are working in the same field like Sony, so it was producing rice cookers. So then they had the technical know-how of electronic items. So they got into electrical production. So because of these reasons, what happened when we produce two things together, cost will be decreased, which can be explained or estimated with the given equation here. Here what happens, if we are producing together, there will be individual cost. Let's say this Q1 is the product 1. Right? So the cost of the product 1 plus cost of the product 2. These two together will generate the total cost to the firm. And there are certain costs that we bear together. Like if you take Disney, marketing its characters. Disney had spent a lot of money for getting their characters, popular in the society. So that for that they spend, but the same cost can be applied for producing the garments or the clothes using Disney characters. So therefore, there will be a common cost. So the two costs together adding minus the common cost, we will be getting the real cost for the firm. So we can just show that as a share of the total cost. If you look at this function clearly, what happens if these two products are produced by two producers? This part will be 0. There will not be any common cost. Q1, Q2 will not be there. So therefore, it will be only Q1 plus CQ2. If it is produced separately. But if it is produced by together, then we have the common cost. Therefore, if you are producing together, we will be getting the economies of scope, which says when you increase your scope, your cost will be decreasing. Okay, so with that, we can complete the discussion on cost of production. So the previous class, we started the discussion on the short-run cost functions. Today, we discuss about the long-run cost functions.